G'day guys, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to do a walkthrough of the new Joe Lagowski golf training facility. Now, this is a work in progress, and I am going to add things to this as the journey goes along, as we progress with this. So it's not just going to stay the same as it is today. First, I want to give a massive shout out to Scott, or as you will know him as POB16. If you're looking to get a course built on GS Pro, then look no further than Scott. You can find him in the Joe Lagowski Golf Discord group. He's got his own section dedicated to course builds. And the best thing is, if you are a Joe Lagowski Golf member, you are going to get a discount on your build. He's done some incredible courses on GS Pro already. He's done the Real Club Valderrama, he's done the Belfry GC, he's done one of my favorites on GS Pro, Cape Kidnappers. So if you are looking to get a course built, hit up Scott. You can find him in the Discord, or you can find him on the Facebook group. If you join the Joe Lagowski Golf Facebook group, you can find him there, Scott Daniels, POB16. So thank you, Scott, for building this range for me. I really appreciate it. And I'm really keen to show this off because some of the features I asked Scott to do, I don't think were that easy to do, especially the big putting green. I'll definitely show you that in a second. But getting slopes and percentages of slopes, I think that it was quite hard to do, and he executed it perfectly. So big shout out. Thank you very much. Okay, so without further ado, what a lot of people have been waiting for, the Joe Lagowski Golf Training Facility. This project started off with an idea, and like I said, I gave the idea to Scott. He was the one that took that idea and made it a reality. He made it real. So without further ado, let's jump in and let's check out the range. I'm going to walk you through all the different sections because there are some nuances to this. Now, the whole point of this range for me was I wanted a place where I could do videos on certain things like how to judge speed control, how to read greens, how to hit chip shots, all of these videos on my members channel, and then link a skills test to the range that then the members could go and do and hopefully improve their golf. So that's the idea of this range. It's meant to be used with the membership and with these skills tests that I'm going to be putting out. However, you can just access this range if you are not a member, and you can use it, but you're just not going to get the most out of it because you're not going to get access to those skills tests. So the range is now available on the GS Pro main server. To access it, you actually want to jump to the practice tab. So if you click on practice and then on course practice, and if you type in Joe Lagowski or Joe LAG, it will populate there. You can see it, Joe Lagowski Golf Training Facility by POB16. We will jump in. There's a few nuances to all of this information in the match settings. The only thing you can't change that's important is you can't change your tee location once you are in the actual range. So you've got, for instance, green, blue, white, yellow. So you've got a few different tee options, and that is going to put you in a different position on the actual driving range. All of the other stuff like the pins, the stimp, and all of the other information you can actually change on the fly once you are at the range. So for the purpose of this, we will start on the green tees and we'll jump in and have a look at the range. Okay, so on the green tees, you are actually going to be inside the facility on the mat. So if I spin around, you can see you've got a picture of GS Pro there. We'll spin around. We're using a flight scope today. I've never used a flight scope, but we're using a flight scope. We'll keep spinning around. You can see the logo, and you've also got a couple of QR codes that you can scan there. They'll take you directly to the YouTube channel or directly to my Instagram. We'll spin around. Now, what you've got is you're actually doing the target practice. So this is the wedge target practice at the moment. So holes 1 through 8 are going to be at those wedge target ranges. You also can aim and try and hit these targets that are out there. So you've got one at 50, you've got one at 109, and then you've got one at 150. Going up to the left-hand side there, you can see holes, and this is what I mean by the different greens. So if I go to hole 2, you're going to be in the same location, hitting at the second flag now, and it works that same way all the way up to hole 8. When you get to hole 8, you're at the furthest green. It's 144 yards, so it's a decent shot. When you go to hole 9 using these pin locations, so the Thursday pin locations, I'll do it now. I'll go to hole 9. It's going to actually point you the other way, and that's because with the tees we've selected and the hole we've selected, the hole is actually on the back green, and you can see that there. This is one of the ladder drills, so if I was to click on the ball in the top left-hand corner, and go and place it on the green, you can see we're actually doing a ladder drill at the moment. The same goes for hole 10. That is the other one. So as soon as you click hole 10, it's going to take you back into the facility. You're going to have to use the golf ball to navigate to that other location, to the other pin. And this is the same for holes 11, 12, 13, 14. They're going to be the slope. So hole 11 is the 1% sloped green. You can see there. Hole 12 is the 2% sloped green. Hole 13 is the 3% and hole 14 is the 4% green. What about 15, 16 and 17? So let's jump into hole 15. This is now the flop wall. So you can go over here and place your ball and you're going to have level 1 of the flop wall, and then hole 18 is going to be the highest flop wall that you can do. So we'll go drop our ball there, and as you can see, we've got a really high flop wall. So that is the green tees and the Thursday pins. You do, however, have access to different pin locations on the fly. So what I'll do is I'll just select hole 1 again, and then I'm going to go into the settings, and I'm going to change it from Thursday to Friday pins now, and we'll go save. And now I have all of the flags, all of the pins on these 2 greens. So what I'll do is I'll go into free flight mode, and as you can see, now I have access to 18 pin locations on different parts of these 2 greens on the right hand side of the range. So I can then select any of the holes and I can work on different distances from the same tee box. Now, this is the exact same for the Saturday pins as well. So Saturday pins, I'll save that. Now you're going to have access to different pin locations on those greens as well. So I'll fly out there and show you. So now you've got different pin locations on those 2 greens. And when you're working with Friday and Saturday pins, you can just go and drop your ball anywhere on the range. So you can go and drop it there and hit some chip shots. You can drop it in one of the bunkers. You can also navigate up onto the plateau, and you've got all different types of turf that you can hit from, so you can figure out how different lies are going to affect your ball when you chip them onto the GS Pro world. So for instance, if I want to hit out of deep rough, I can place my ball in this deep rough, and then I can hit a 17-yard shot, and I can see how far out of deep rough the ball's actually going to go. How is it going to be affected by the spin? How's it going to be affected by the power? So for instance, I'll just do a quick chip shot to that hole. And as you can see, I left it way short. But what will come up after your shot is you're going to get percentages there. So you can see for a chip shot that's 17 yards, or realistically, the one that I flew 8.5 yards, you're going to lose a certain amount of percentage of power, and you're going to lose a certain amount of percentage on spin. You can then drop your ball into the normal rough next to it and do the exact same thing. Okay. So I've done pretty much the exact same shot, and we'll just see how much normal rough affects that spin and power now, or spin and speed. So there you go. So we've got 96% speed, 61% spin. So you can really see how different lies are going to affect different shots that you hit in the virtual world. So there are a lot of things you can do on this range to learn about GS Pro and learn about your game and how different lies affect different shots. Okay, let's now jump to a different location. So to get to a different location, you do need to actually back out and load up the range again. Like I said, the only thing you can't change on the fly is your tee location. I wish you could, but unfortunately we don't have that option to. So let's end the round. We'll jump back into the practice facility, and this time we'll go to the yellow tees. And we'll start with Thursday pins. Now, there's a reason I haven't gone to Sunday pins. I'll talk about Sunday pins at the end. So Thursday pins, yellow tees. Okay, so from the yellow tee box, this is what you're going to be met with. So the pins are going to be the same because we are using the Thursday pins. So you're going to have access to all of those target greens. You're going to have access to the main big square putting green and all of that. This tee location, I really designed more for the Friday and Saturday pins. So we're going to jump into the Friday pins. We're going to select that. Now you're going to have access to all the pins on these greens. What you see to the right of you from this tee location are the different lies again. And again, I did this so you could go and drop the ball into pine straw. You could hit at different targets, and you can see exactly how the lies are going to affect your percentages in GS Pro. You've got the same lies, so pine straw, then you've got the normal rough, then you've got the deep rough, And then to the right, you have sand as well. So this sand is going to play like fairway sand. So you've got greenside sand next to the greens up there straight ahead. And then this bunker is actually going to play like a fairway bunker. So you can see the percentages that you're going to lose from a fairway bunker and also a greenside bunker. So that's the yellow tee box, predominantly designed to be used with the Friday and Saturday pins. Okay, let's jump in now and we're going to go from the white tees. The white tees, I recommend selecting Thursday as your pins. So from the white tees, you are set up to do some wedge work. So you've got holes 1 through 8 that you can select. It goes from 30 yards up to 120 yards, and this is going to be where you really dial in your wedges. If you want to change the distance to the hole, you can of course just move forward or back on the actual tee box. Just know that when you select a new hole, it will put you back in that original position. You do have access to the Friday and Saturday pins from this location as well. However, what you'll see is you have access to the Friday pins, but only some of the locations. So you can only go up to hole, I believe it's 9. No, hole 8. So you can only go up to hole 8. As soon as you select hole 9, it's going to take you to this different tee location. And that's because this was actually designed to be used with the Thursday pins. So if I select Thursday pins and I go to hole 9, it's going to take me to the ladder drill. I select hole 10, it's going to take me to the other one. I select hole 11, it's going to take me to the 1% slope, and so on. You can also, from the white tees, use the flop wall just by selecting the holes as well. So for instance, hole 15 is going to put you in that location. Hole 18 is going to take you to the highest wall that you can flop over. So the white tees are predominantly meant to be used with the Thursday pin locations. However, you can use the Friday and Saturday pins. You're only going to have access to holes 1 through 8. Okay, and finally, the last pin location and tee that you can select. Let's jump back into practice. We'll go on course practice, go to the range. We're going to select the blue tees and we're going to select Sunday pins. This is really cool. Wait till you see this. So this is probably my favorite thing about this training facility. When I was originally creating this, I wanted to create something that was real and you could use to really improve your short game and dial in your wedges. I believe, I'm not going to lie, I think I've made the perfect practice facility for that. This practice facility will look very, very familiar to certain people if you watch YouTube videos and you watch one of the best short game coaches in the world. Not going to give away any hints, but if you watch his channel, this will look very familiar to you. So this is the short game facility, and you can see we've got holes 1 through 18. I'll spin around. What I'll do is I'll do a top-down shot for you. So as you can see, you've got a big putting green there. You've also got a small one down to the bottom. And you've got a lot of area where you can go and practice your pitching and chipping. So this short game facility, like the other driving range that I was showing you before, it's meant to be used in conjunction with the skills tests through the Joe Lagowski Golf membership. However, you can come here and you can drop the ball wherever you want around this facility and you can practice your chipping and pitching. This is going to be a place where you can really, really dial in your wedges. You can dial in those chip shots, those pitch shots, and you can get really, really good. Okay. Finally, I'm going to show off a few things that I haven't shown off at the actual main facility. So I'll jump in, and what I'll do for the purpose of this is I'll just select Thursday pins. If you hit save, what you'll see now in the bottom of the screen in the mini map is you've actually got the chipping facility off to the side, and then you've got the main facility at the top. So all I have to do is I can hyperspace to the main facility, and now I'm going to go to the left hand side of the building. And so what this is the draw and fade wall. What I wanted to create in GS Pro is I wanted to give people a visual of having something in front of them on their screen so they can really try and practice draws and fades. And so I built this wall to the left hand side of the facility for that purpose. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a 7-iron, and say if you're someone who's always struggled fading or slicing the ball, you always come over the top and your ball always starts to the left. What this is going to give you now on your screen is a visual representation of where you need to start your golf ball. You're not going to be able to start it left, because if you start this ball left, it will go straight into that wall and go absolutely nowhere. So the idea of this wall is to give you a visual representation of something on the screen that you need to start the ball right of. So to start it right, we need to aim right. And what we're going to do with this is just going to hit a nice draw around that wall. And as you can see, it started to the right, it's drawing back. So that's the idea of the wall. It's to give people a visual representation of having something in their way so then they can achieve what they're trying to achieve. You're trying to achieve a draw, you need the ball to start right. So this gives you something to actually see in your room to achieve that. If you want to work on fades, then all you've got to do is place the ball on the opposite side of the wall. And now I'm just going to hit a nice fade around that wall. So I'm going to aim left, I'm going to cut across the ball, come over the top. And as you can see, we've hit a pretty big slice around that wall. So yeah, that is the draw and fade wall, or the hook and slice wall, whatever you want to call it, but it gives you a visual representation of something that you need to miss in your room. Call it the shot shaping wall. And finally, one other little thing I want to show you, we'll go to Saturday pins. We do have a pop bunker at the Joe Lagowski Golf practice facility, so you can practice those pop bunkers. It's located next to the greens on the right hand side of the main driving range. I'll give you guys a top down view. So it's just there next to the right hand side of the range, next to those two greens. But yeah, that is the Joe Lagowski Golf training facility. As you can see, there's plenty of things you can do, plenty of areas you can work on your game. And like I said, this is a work in progress. This is definitely a work in progress, so stay tuned because there are gonna be a lot more things coming to this range in the future. Hope you guys enjoyed that. If you did, let me know. Any comments or questions, let me know down below, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Cheers.